Finally, my contract wife, also agreed to divorce. In the very next second, she suddenly stabbed a needle into my arm, used a handkerchief to tightly cover my mouth. She imprisoned me in the villa's basement. When I woke up, I was tightly cuffed to the bed in the basement, while she sat on the edge of the bed wearing a sick yet infatuated smile. I became her exclusive prisoner, forced to endure endless humiliations. The contract wife. Every day she personally cooked me a bowl of perfect, nourishing soup. That bowl of soup was filled with her obsessive control. But in the dark imprisonment without seeing sunlight, I could hardly distinguish day from night. Yet when I finally found a chance to escape with great difficulty, I was caught and brought back by her. She touched my face, smiled, and said I had good news: I was pregnant. If you run again, it'll break your legs. Graceful, peaceful, my contract wife. What the hell is a contract wife? 3 years, a full 3 years. The red circles on the calendar finally reached the last day. I often breathed a sigh of relief, feeling like the heavy stone pressing on my heart was finally lifted. Over the past 3 years, I helped her deal with family marriage pressures, drove away those who pursued her, blocked the crowd of talented young men surrounding her. She paid, I worked. A fair deal. Thanks to that money, my company gradually improved. Not big, not small. Anyway, it was my own career. Now, the Moonlight Girl she always mentioned, deep, beautiful, has also returned to the country in a grand way. On social media, I saw a photo of the two accidentally meeting. Graceful, peaceful, smiled radiantly like spring breeze and white snow, full of affectionate feelings. This background character should also retreat in glory. When printing the divorce agreement, I deliberately bolded the line "leave with nothing." I didn't want a single penny from the Grace family. Over the past 3 years, the villa was hers. The luxury car was hers. Forrest Stern never dreamed of possessing anything. Humming a tune, I neatly folded the divorce agreement and put it in my briefcase. Tonight was the time to face it. Forrest Stern, finally, you can be yourself. I looked in the mirror, said to myself in it. In the villa's living room, graceful, peaceful sat on the sofa, with an elegant posture, sipping a glass of red wine. Seeing me enter, she didn't even raise her eyelids. Peaceful, we need to talk. I placed the divorce agreement on the tea table in front of her. 3 years are up. This is the divorce agreement. Take a look. If no issues, sign it. Regarding assets, I take nothing. I tried to keep my voice calm, even with a bit of relief from unloading a burden. At this moment, she put down her wine glass, slowly picked up the few sheets of paper. I waited for her to nod or say a few polite words. Who knew in the next second, the divorce agreement in her hands, in an instant turned into fragments flying everywhere. My pupils contracted violently. Graceful, peaceful, what do you mean? In my life, I had never been this angry. 3 years of endurance almost exploded right now. She stood up, her lips curved into a smile I couldn't understand, cold mixed with a bit of mockery. Forrest Stern, I already said it. When it ends, I decide. Those eyes no longer had the usual coldness of a proud CEO, clearly carrying a bit of obsession, making my back turn cold. The contract clearly states 3 years. Now you want to go back on your word. I was so angry my chest heaved. Has her brain been flooded with water? Your moonlight has returned. Why keep me this light bulb? The rules of the game are set by me, she said lightly, but her tone allowed no rebuttal. Now, I don't want a divorce. I pointed at her, speechless for half a day. Met someone who doesn't reason, but never seen one this unreasonable. What is this? Even killing the donkey after grinding the mill isn't this bad. Treating me like a monkey to toy with. Anger rushed to my head, but I also knew in this state, arguing with her would achieve nothing. Fine, not signing then. I sneered coldly. I won't stay in this crappy place. Saying that, I turned and went straight upstairs. Packed my pitiful belongings. I thought leaving would make her calm down, give her some pressure, HMPH. Now thinking back, I was really naively terrifying then. Graceful, peaceful just stood in the living room. Watched my back going upstairs, silent. Only those eyes, like to hooks locking onto me. When I dragged my suitcase downstairs, prepared to slam the door and leave. She slowly spoke, Forrest Stern. The world outside is very dangerous. You'll regret it. Her voice wasn't loud, but like needles piercing my ears. I didn't turn back. Didn't look back. Left the house I lived in for 3 years. But suddenly a chill surged in my heart. She was too abnormal today. A bad premonition began to spread in my heart. But then I only thought she was throwing a tantrum. Impulsive and unreasonable. Graceful, peaceful didn't sign the divorce agreement. This was like a stone blocking my heart. The more I thought, the angrier I got. After leaving the villa, I randomly found a hotel to stay temporarily. Was thinking how to break graceful, peaceful, stubborn mind. An unexpected person came. Deep, beautiful, how did he know I was here? Graceful, peaceful told him he looked quite decent. Wearing a high-end suit, hair neatly combed, just his face a bit pale, Forrest Stern. He observed me from head to toe, his eyes like looking at something dirty. Heard peaceful, want divorce you. His tone exuded sky-high arrogance. What does it have to do with you? I irritably replied. He sneered coldly, contemptuously. Well, the type who lives off women. Peaceful is tired, wanting to discard is normal. I was so angry my temples throbbed. This guy deliberately came to provoke me. But rest assured, he stepped closer, his voice lowered, full of boasting. Peaceful will soon return to my side. We are the heavenly match, and you know your place and get lost. Don't be an eyesore. My 3 years of endurance, plus this idiot's provocation, instantly exploded. I threw a punch, hitting right on his fair face smack. Deep, beautiful probably didn't expect me to act. Staggered from the hit, retreated a few steps. Nose immediately bled. You dare hit me? He held his nose, unbelieving. So what if I hit? I advanced, added a kick, making him curl like a boiled shrimp. Did I give you face? Daring to act superior before me. Hitting him I had wanted to for long. Over 3 years, the moonlight in graceful, peaceful's mouth made me feel like a spare. Now this spare dares to talk big. I grabbed his collar, pulled him up. Young Master Deep, listen clearly. The matter between me and graceful, peaceful isn't that I don't want. Don't believe, go ask her. Dare babble again, I'll beat you every time I see you. His gold-rimmed glasses flew off from the hit. Deep, beautiful was downed by me a few times. The 2 bodyguards with him wanted to rush up. Glared at by me immediately, didn't dare move. Didn't dare twitch. This guy probably used to being pampered. Looks good but worthless. Finally, he scrambled and fled, leaving a sentence, just you wait. Theft, ill wait. I thought this matter was over. Unexpectedly, 2 days later. Deep, beautiful, this guy really doesn't know when to stop. He found a few yellow-haired thugs with cheap tattoos. Blocked me under the company building. Kid, you're the one who beat our young Master Deep, right? The yellow-haired one held a cigarette, pointed a baseball bat at me. I laughed then. These guys weren't even enough for warm-up. 3 years practice minus 2. The thugs all lay flat on the ground, crying for mom and dad. Deep, beautiful hid far away. Seeing this face pale, I stepped toward him. He panicked, turned to run. Too bad, too late. I gave him another full beating. This time even heavier. Probably he couldn't get out of bed for half a month. From then on, Deep, beautiful saw me. Like mouse seeing cat, hurriedly avoided. That fearful look couldn't be fate. Even once at a wine party, seeing me from afar, the wine glass in his hand fell straight to the ground. Legs cramped and fled. Truly beaten by me into psychological trauma. Worthless trash. I thought to myself, for graceful, peaceful, even if only in name, I beat her moonlight into this. She should give me some face. Signed the divorce agreement. So I found her again. Said nice and bad. Begged in every way. Graceful, peaceful, consider it me begging you let me go, okay? Your moonlight if beaten into your grandson. Why keep me? She just looked at me. Said nothing. Soft and hard didn't work. I was really about to be driven mad by her. Just when I was almost desperate, the matter suddenly turned. A commercial event. Both invited as exemplary couple. After the event, Remove the disguise. I mentioned divorce again, graceful, peaceful, peaceful. What exactly do you want? Give a clear answer. She was silent for long. Long enough I thought she'd ignore me again. Finally, she slowly spoke. Okay. Ill sign. I was stunned, doubting my ears. What did you say? I said ill sign the divorce agreement. She repeated, face expressionless. My heart skipped. Then wild joy, heaven has eyes. These 3 years finally end. But I hadn't rejoiced long. Already noticed her eyes looking at me. How to say? A bit strange. Like a deep bottomless lake, hiding something I didn't understand, mixed with some excitement. Graceful, peaceful, peaceful really agreed to sign the divorce agreement. Then my head buzzed. Almost couldn't believe my ears. 3 years I endured enough. Her okay and ill sign. To me no different from heavenly sounds. But she suddenly changed tone. Lips curved into an unpredictable smile. Before signing, let's have a meal. Consider it a farewell dinner. Farewell dinner fine. Eat then eat as long as she signs. Not to mention one meal a banquet I'd join. In heart even a bit petty thinking. She finally discovered her conscience. Wanted peaceful parting. The dinner was held in the villa's dining room. Long table. Exquisite tablecloth. And a few dishes I often liked. Graceful, peaceful, peaceful today, especially quiet. Even could say gentle. She poured wine for me. Gently asked about my company lately. That tone, different from the polite, distant when first met. Today she was gentle to the point I was unaccustomed. But then I was dizzy from the joy of impending freedom. Didn't think much. Only felt this perhaps the calm before the storm, or her final politeness. After eating she put down knife and fork. Let's go. To my study. I'll get the pen. Is the agreement with you or me? I brought it. I quickly took from briefcase. The divorce agreement carrying my hope. Her study, I wasn't there first time. But today the atmosphere, like filled with an indescribable stuffiness. She walked behind the desk, sat down, took the divorce agreement I handed. My heart thumped. I stared at her hand unblinking. She lowered her eyes. Long lashes under the light cast faint shadows. Finally she put pen to paper and signed. Fluent signature, wrote her name, graceful, peaceful, peaceful. That moment, I felt the stone pressing my heart for over 3 years, finally lifted. She pushed the signed divorce agreement to me. Now you're free, she said, voice very soft. I reached to take the agreement, fingers nearly touching the paper. Right then, everything abruptly changed. Graceful, peaceful, peaceful, lightning fast. Other hand drew something from the desk drawer, flashed a cold light. It was a syringe. My pupils contracted violently. A chill ran from solace to head top. Graceful, peaceful, peaceful. I wanted to dodge, wanted to resist, but everything too fast. Her action decisive, not like a pampered lady, but like a trained professional. The cold needle without hesitation stabbed into my right arm. I pain instinctively wanted to pull hand, but her other hand gripped my arm. Terrifying strength. The drug she pushed all in without mercy. Violent dizziness instantly engulfed my mind. Arm transmitted numbing pain, then whole body suddenly powerless. What did you inject me? I gritted teeth, felt eyelids growing heavier. She didn't answer, just took from pocket a white handkerchief. The handkerchief like carrying a strange sweet smell. She used it to tightly cover my nose and mouth. Release. I madly struggled, but strength like tide receding. Vision began to blur. World spinning. Damn, I again unguarded. I really believed she'd easily let me go. The last image in my eyes was graceful, peaceful, peaceful's face close. Her lips curved into a charming yet sick smile. Beautiful eyes bent into crescents. But in those crescents surged terrifying possessiveness. Intense to the point impossible to dissipate. Forest stern, her voice like devil's whisper, echoed in my ears. From the day we signed the 3-year contract, I wanted to do this. I want to lock you in the basement. My private basement locked tight, belonging only to me. Before completely sinking into darkness, I seemed to hear her satisfied laughter. That laughter like poison honey, making my spine chill. What kind of madwoman did I provoke? Don't know how long passed. I woke again, awakened by a faint fragrance and a gentle touch. I felt myself in a dark basement room, limbs tied by something, heavy iron chains. My whole body locked in a big character on the bed, well graceful, peaceful right beside. She wore silk nightgown, hair disheveled on shoulders, face buried in my neck hollow, breath carrying scorching heat. Husband, you're awake. Her voice gentle soft, like feather brushing my nerves. But in that voice, hid a satisfying and horrifying madness. I was about to speak, found throat terrifyingly dry. She gently placed finger on my lips. Husband, it's okay if you don't remember, but you can't leave me. She lifted head, beautiful eyes in dim light, flash charming glow. We still have so much to do. For example, have a child. Signed a $1 billion contract. Again, don't know how long. When I once more became clear-headed, a female voice gentle, with laziness and smile, rang from above my head. I startled and looked up. It was graceful, peaceful. She sat properly on the bed edge, wearing the familiar robe of mine, hand holding red wine glass gently swirling. The dark red liquid flashed eerie light in darkness. At this moment she, completely different from the usual cold female CEO, like to different people. In the beautiful eyes, sparkled a light I'd never seen, almost fanatical. She leaned down close to me, warm breath blew on my face, carrying faint wine smell, and her signature perfume. Forrest Stern, her voice gentle soft, like lover's whisper. Actually, from the day we signed the 3-year contract. She paused a bit, lips curved into charming yet sick smile. That smile gave me goosebumps. I wanted to do this. My pupils contracted. You're crazy. Graceful, peaceful, release me. I roared, but voice due to drug became hoarse weak. She didn't hear my shout. Continued speaking. Beautiful eyes bent into crescents. Inside surged terrifying possessiveness. I want to lock you in the basement. The basement only I can enter. Locked tight, belonging only to me. Her finger lightly slid across my cheek. The cold feeling gave me goosebumps. Crazy, this woman, completely crazy. I cursed in heart. Husband, it's okay. You'll get used to it. She softly, gently, like coaxing a naughty child. But you can't leave me. Her eyes flashed dangerous light, then just smiled. That smile full of confident fanaticism. Then she put down the wine glass. Eyes locked on me. The possessiveness in those eyes like wanting to swallow me. I madly struggled. Iron chains pulled clanging. But that damn drug still effective. I couldn't use much strength. I could only watch her use eyes. Imprison me like tide drowning me. I am man, yet controlled by a woman this way. Tears of regret uncontrollably flowed from my corners. She always used infatuated eyes, and fanatical looked at me, like admiring her most precious, unique belonging to her. She was a thorough madwoman, a possessiveness sick to the point. What kind of person did I provoke? The following days, I truly understood living worse than death. Graceful, peaceful, that madwoman. Every day on time visited me. Said visit. Better say using her way to declare ownership. She would sit on bed edge, finger slide over my skin repeatedly, mouth muttering nonstop. Content, all you can only be mine. No one can steal you, and similar obsessive words. I felt like a soulless doll, manipulated by her at will. Even basic autonomy none. What angered and humiliated me most was feeding. She wanted mouth to mouth, her breath mixed with food smell, making me nauseous to vomit. At first I desperately resisted, clenched mouth, but when pushed to extreme, all pride crumbled. She didn't anger, just gently looked at me, with sick smile. Husband, how can not eat? Not eat how have strength to stay with me? Finally I submitted. Before hunger and her dominance, my pitiful pride shattered. Besides feeding, there was that damn nourishing soup. I swear never seen such terrifying soup. Meat scallions, all nourishing ingredients. Remania goji, canis fati, cordyceps, eucamia, all nourishing herbs, boiled into black liquid. Smell alone assaulted nose. Husband, this is nourishing soup I personally cooked for you. She held the bowl, smiled gently like a virtuous wife. I wanted to vomit. She pinched my chin, forced pour. Bitter taste down throat. Felt like organs rebelling. My body indeed got healthier day by day, but fake health after being drained. more shameful. Under the tonic and her daily control, my body gradually began instinctive reactions. I despised myself, but mental torment like knife-cutting flesh. Deeper day by day. Every day I lived in distortion. And those endless tortures, graceful, peaceful occasionally like a normal woman, hugged me head on my chest. Breath steady Forrest Stern. You're so comfortable. You can only be mine, no. Never leave me forever. Her voice gentle soft, like feather, but words spoken, carried undeniable control, making my back cold. I once tried resisting, used all strength to yank chains, clanging sounds. In silent basement, especially piercing. Result besides wrists and ankles ground red. No use graceful, peaceful saw wounds on me. Eyes became darker husband, you're not obedient. Then even crazier control. She would shrink my activity range. Even prolong drug control time. Gradually, I gave up meaningless resistance. I began calm secretly, observed her. Observed this damn basement. I sought chances, any escape possibility. Once she seemed in very good mood. After intimacy, really unlocked one-hand chain. Husband, eat by yourself today. She placed rice bowl on bedside table. Then just watched me. That sudden bit of freedom made my heart pound wildly. Hope like small flame ignited in heart. I slowly used the free hand to hold chopsticks. Awkwardly picked food. So fragrant. That was the first food taste I took myself after so long. Pity hope to short. Next meal she locked me again. Let me feed you. Husband, I like this. The small flame instantly doused by cold water. Day after day, the sunless basement became my cage. Well, graceful, peaceful. Was the beautiful, mad jailer holding the key. Today a bit different. Graceful, peaceful as usual. Came to this dark basement. Still wearing splendid silk nightgown. Air still familiar fragrance. Making my head spin. She began skillfully. The intimacy routine I was used to in humiliation. But her actions seemed more hurried than usual. The fanaticism in eyes deeper. What gave me most chills was her expression, no longer pure satisfaction, but extremely strange demeanor. Eyes dreamy, like immersed in ultimate fantasy. Just when her eyes nearly suffocated me, she suddenly leaned down. Hot lips close to my ear. Voice trembling whispered Forrest Stern. No, it's okay if you don't remember. But from 3 years ago, I only wanted you. 3 years ago, these words like lightning tore through my chaotic thoughts. 3 years ago, wasn't that when we signed that ridiculous contract? At that time, she looked at me like expensive, exclusive goods. Eyes cold, only evaluation how could. Punch for me, she continued. Tone with sick infatuation. Beat those wanting to bully me to scattered flowers and flowing water. Forrest Stern, that's the man I want. My whole body stiffened. What did she say? Beating people. Deep, beautiful, what is he? She suddenly sneered. Tone without hiding utmost contempt. A useless. Looks weak, can't withstand wind. Like a hypocrite. My eyes before were blind. How notice that type? One coming for my money and status. Think I don't know his intentions. She spoke, while finger lightly slid my chin. Eyes fanatical, terrifying. Like believer finally getting idle. Only someone like you worthy to be my man. My mind tangled like threads, her sick words made me cold all over. But what scared me more was what she said next. This time I completely have you. And before having you, I got to witness the scene I wanted most. She laughed loudly. Laughter echoed in silent basement. Sounded eerie. 3 years Forrest Stern. Know how long I endured. Deep, beautiful, that useless. Not completely useless. As soon as he returned, I knew I'd see you beat people for me again. Forrest Stern, no. When you stood before me, beat deep, beautiful like dead dog for me. Then my heart excited, joyful, how much? Boom! My mind like bombed. Turns out deep, beautiful kept provoking me. Not coincidence. It was me like idiot. Jumped straight into her prepared trap. She like high director. And I just pitiful led in her script. Acting hero saving beauty. Truly pathetic. But pity that kick of yours. Her face showed regret. That kick nearly killed him. I could only watch your heroic pose through surveillance. I really couldn't hold wanted to see with own eyes. I looked at her face expression, mixed infatuation and madness. A chill from tailbone to head, but body instinct betraying me. Extreme split between mind and body nearly drove me mad. After a long while, she finally stopped whispering, satisfied leaned on my chest. Like lazy cat after fall, breath gradually steady. Occasionally hand lightly touched my chest. Action with some dependence. I closed eyes. No strength to move a finger. After another while, she seemed rested enough, propped up to sit, like preparing as usual lock me tight. Then leave, but she just stood. Face suddenly changed. Unexpectedly hand-covered mouth, brows tightly furrowed, like wanting to vomit. Next second she hurriedly jumped off bed. Without looking back rushed to basement door. Ran quickly, high heels clacking on floor fading, until iron door slammed shut. The whole basement returned to deadly silence. Lying on bed, I panted heavily, whole body like drained. After a long while I slowly realized she left. And just now in emotional surge, she unlocked my hand chain. Then due to sudden discomfort, forgot to lock me again. I slowly raised hand, the cold iron chain on wrist, loosely hanging, lock open she forgot. She really forgot to lock me. An electric current instantly from tailbone to head. Chance this is my only chance. I didn't dare move, listen for outside sounds. Afraid she suddenly returned. Time passed second by second. No any sound. I suppressed body aches and fatigue. Forced myself to rest. Recover strength. Every second torture. Probably 2 hours passed. I felt body finally some strength. I slowly bit by bit sat up. Then began dealing with damn foot shackles. This sturdier than hand chains. I groped in room. Found a metal rod. Fallen on floor from when she changed light. Pried ground. Sweat from forehead into eyes. Stinging burning. Another over 2 hours passed. A soft click sounded. Foot shackle finally opened freedom. I staggered up. Rushed to iron door out. But hope once more shattered by reality. Door locked in. A high-end electronic lock I'd never seen. I returned to room. Searched everything usable as tool. Smashed knocked on door. Useless. Door like rooted in wall unmoving. In despair, I found a hard plastic piece. Fallen from something unclear. Size like bank card. In movies always like this. A card piece into lock slot swipe and door opens. Those seemed ridiculous. But now I could only treat a dead horse as a live one. I shoved the plastic piece into the lock slot. Swiped it back and forth once. Twice 100 times, my arm aching like it would break. I was both thirsty and hungry. My throat burning like fire. Just when I was about to give up, ready to lie back on the bed and wait for death, a tiny click almost inaudible sounded from the lock. My whole body jolted. Ecstatic beyond words, I was truly a genius. I gripped the door handle tightly, pulled with all my strength. The door opened, but only a small crack. A force from outside immediately pushed it wide. What was this? I hadn't even reacted. It was that damn white handkerchief again. The familiar scent with a cloying sweetness instantly enveloped my nose and mouth. I hadn't even seen the person's face clearly. Consciousness sank once more into endless darkness. As I fell, I collapsed into a familiar embrace, carrying a faint fragrance. It was graceful, peaceful. Consciousness like being yanked from sticky mud. In the darkness, the familiar scent made my hair stand on end. Once again drilled into my nose. Before I could open my eyes, I already felt something wrong. The weight on my limbs, twice as heavy as before. I abruptly opened my eyes. In the dim light, appearing before me were wrists and ankles bound by something gleaming cold black. Iron chains a full circle thicker than before. On them fresh new scratches, like to pitch black venomous snakes, coiled tightly around me. While graceful, peaceful lay on top of me, like a lazy cat, head resting on my chest, fingers lightly stroking my face. Seeing me awake, she lifted her head, those beautiful eyes, carrying the familiar dangerous glint, Husband, you were very naughty. Her voice gentle soft, but like an ice needle stabbing my ears. Daring to sneak away, her finger slid over, my lips carrying a chill what's wrong. Can't a beauty like me keep you? What's so great about the outside world? You must remember the world out there is very dangerous. She leaned closer, warm breath blowing on my face. Every word she said, only I am the best for you. I clenched my teeth, chest heaving violently, but couldn't utter a word. The humiliation of failure and deeper despair, like a tide drowning me. She seemed very satisfied with my reaction now. The smile on her lips deepened. You stay here with me and the baby. Baby, these two words like a bomb exploded in my head. My whole body stiffened, staring at her, doubting my ears. What did you say? Baby? The dangerous sick expression on graceful, peaceful's face suddenly vanished, replaced by an innocent and expectant look, like a child who did something right, waiting for adult praise. She nodded vigorously, eyes sparkling. That's right. Baby, your baby. She even carried a boastful tone, seriously answering me. This is the result of our efforts for over half a month. After saying that, the innocent expression disappeared again. She returned to her mad demeanor with darkened eyes, dangerously narrowing them. This seamless shift in expression made my spine chill. My mind was in chaos, angry, forcing myself to grasp the last bit of reason, unbelievably asking, already confirmed at the hospital. What else? She proudly raised an eyebrow, like a peacock winning a fight. Just confirmed. I wanted to come back and share this good news with you, but the moment I opened the door, I discovered. Her eyes instantly turned cold. Hand also gripped my chin tightly. Discovered some heartless man, daring to sneak away, wanting to abandon us mother and child. Her words silenced me. My heart like squeezed by an invisible hand, heavily sinking. Baby, she was pregnant. This truth, heavier than the thicker chains on my wrists. It crushed my last hope of escape completely. I calmed down, slowly calmed down. Now with a baby, escaping would be harder than ascending to heaven. I closed my eyes, no longer wanting to see her beautiful yet mad face. My mind began thinking frantically, like a tangled mess. Words graceful, peaceful once said, repeated in my head. 3 years ago, she only wanted me. 3 years ago, I beat people for her thinking long. A vague memory I deliberately forgot in a corner began to surface gradually. Just graduated from university. I studied finance. No background, no connections. Graduated meant unemployed. My decent diploma, useless before reality. To survive, I found a part-time job as a waiter in a bar. 3 years ago, wasn't that when I just graduated? Poor as dirt. I tried hard to dig through the trash heap of memories, wanting to find some clues. Finally, a memory I intentionally forgot, humiliating and boiling, was yanked from the dusty corner. At that time, I just graduated, studied finance, but no background, no connections. Graduated meant unemployed. This saying wasn't wrong at all. To earn a living, I worked part-time as a waiter in a fairly bustling bar. That night, the bar noisy as usual. I carried a tray weaving through the crowd. Then I witnessed that scene. In a dim corner of the bar, 6 or 7 thugs with dyed red-green hair, surrounding a girl, mouths full of vulgar words, hands and feet unclean. The girl clearly drunk, cheeks flushed, eyes dreamy, body soft like boneless, only weakly pushing hands away. Then my head burned. Didn't think of consequences. A fresh graduate, still a hot-blooded young man. How could I tolerate this scene? I put down the tray. Without a word, charged straight over. Pulled the girl behind me, shielding. What are you doing? Bullying one girl? What kind of skill is that? The thug stunned, then immediately laughed loudly. Surrounded me. Next was a chaotic fight. They outnumbered. As they rushed, I took several punches, lips burning like fire. But I wouldn't yield. Thinking of being a hero saving beauty. Couldn't save halfway and get beaten to death? That would be too humiliating. A flame of anger erupted from my heart. Adrenaline surged. I fought with red eyes, completely ignoring defense. only trading injury for injury, fighting for life. You punch me once, I take another hit but must kick back. That desperate aura truly made them falter. Finally, the thugs cursed and fled. I wasn't much better. Face bruised, nose green, face purple, clothes torn. I unconsciously turned my face away, not wanting the girl behind to see my miserable state. Good deeds need no name. Mainly this appearance was too embarrassing. I didn't even dare look back at her, just limped away. As expected, I was fired by the bar that day, lost the job again. About half a month later, I received a strange call, then signed that damn contract with graceful, peaceful marriage agreement. Thinking here, my whole body jolted. Time, place, cause effect. All clues connected in this moment. Not coincidence. She targeted me from the start. I abruptly opened my eyes, staring at graceful, peaceful lying on me. Voice hoarse from shock. The girl in the bar. Wasn't it you? Graceful, peaceful slowly lifted her head. Beautiful eyes flashed triumph. Lips curved into a sick yet satisfied smile. Husband, looks like you remember. Her fingers lightly touched my lips. Voice with cold pleasure. But remembering makes escape even harder. My heart sank. How to escape now? Direct confrontation I tried. Result was thicker chains. She even dared kidnapping and imprisonment. I didn't doubt next time angering her, she really would break my legs. Moreover, with the baby, whether this baby was mine or not, with her current obsessive madness, she would treat this baby as the final shackle binding me. If the baby really was mine, legally, emotionally, this life we could hardly cut completely. I must stay calm. Hard approach no good. Only soft method. A real man bends and stretches. First ensure my safety, then plan. I closed eyes, then opened. The shock and anger in eyes, already suppressed by me. I forced a helpless smile, as if accepting fate. Tried to make my voice lighter. Can't escape, then forget it, no more escaping. I looked at her, shrugged casually. A man must take responsibility. Stay with you, mother and child. I won't run anymore. Graceful, peaceful, narrowed eyes. Like a cat observing prey. Beautiful eyes full of suspicion. She leaned closer, carefully examined my face, as if searching for lies. I still don't quite believe. She slowly spoke. Cold finger slid over my throat, giving me goosebumps. But you better tell the truth. Her voice suddenly chilled, with undisguised threat. Otherwise, next time it'll break both your legs. So you stay here forever. My heart skipped, but face kept surrender look. She seemed very satisfied with my obedient appearance. After the threat, strength in her body like vanished. She leaned on my chest again, like an obedient cat. Buried face in my neck hollow. Whispered, you know, I like you the most. I don't want to hurt you, but no choice. Who made you disobedient? Who made you want to run? Who made you want to abandon us, mother and child? Her voice grew softer, with sleepy hoarseness. Talking and talking, her breath became even and long. Just fell asleep in my arms. I didn't dare move. Felt her warm breath. Smelled her familiar scent. But mind, I sculled awake. This sleep I also sank into. Next morning, I woke in silence. Heart empty. Graceful, peaceful, no longer there. I unconsciously moved wrists, but no familiar chain clanging. I bolted upright, looked down, wrists and ankles empty. Nothing. Those heavy chains removed. My heart jolted, while joy mixed with unease rising. This was her test for me. I carried uneasy mood, bare feet, stepped off bed. First time using my own feet. Standing in the basement. That imprisoned me over half a month. I walked step by step to the heavy iron door, heart pounding like breaking chest. I reached out, gently pushed. The door really opened. Outside was stairs leading up. I followed the stairs, pushed the next door. Before me, familiar scene beyond words. Graceful, peaceful study. The huge redwood bookshelf, expensive leather sofa, and faint ink smell in the air. I stood stunned. This secret room, the hell that imprisoned me, hidden behind the bookshelf in her study. This house I lived 3 years. This study I visited countless times, but never knew Such a place hidden here. When did she start preparing? This thought chilled my spine. Just then, the study door pulled open from outside. Graceful, peaceful stepped in. She wore comfortable home clothes, faced with gentle smile. Like the most ordinary wife, she naturally walked over, held my hand. Warmth from her hand transmitted through skin, but I felt no warmth. Hungry, right? Let's eat. I began learning to play the perfect husband role 24 karat. For the tiny life in her belly, unknown if shackle or bond. And for my temporarily intact legs, I handed most company work to the new assistant. Myself became a house husband. Graceful, peaceful, pregnant. Appetite became strange. Today wanted sour. Tomorrow demanded spicy. I thought daily how to cook for her. Searched online various pregnant woman menus. Nourishing fetus. Nourishing brain. Afraid not caring well. Husband today I want sweet and sour fish. The most authentic kind. I tied apron. Entered kitchen larger than my company office. Began handling the just delivered perch. She sat on dining room chair. Propped chin. Smiled watching my busy back. Eyes gentle like water. As if I really was the husband she loved. Not a prisoner just released from basement. Early pregnancy. She suffered severe morning sickness. Every morning I prepared soda water and sweet lemon, then drove her to company, watched her enter the prominent high-rise, then went about my business. Afternoon I finished work early, drove to her company, sometimes sat in her CEO office, helped review some unimportant documents, so she could go home early to rest. Her subordinates looked at me, from initial surprise, now accustomed. Even with some admiration, probably thinking, their untouchable female CEO, finally melted by me. An ordinary man. Only I knew, behind this loving facade, hid terrifying madness. Graceful, peaceful grew more dependent on me, or rather more clingy, like a little girl. Where I went, she followed. I reviewed documents. She pulled small chair, sat beside. I cooked. She stood behind, hugging my waist. The obsession and suffocating possessiveness seemed softened by pregnancy hormones, turned into little girl coquettishness. A few times, looking at her peaceful sleeping face, I even had fleeting illusions that perhaps she really changed, that perhaps we could live like this forever. We began resembling a real couple. Weekends she dragged me to mall. Before dazzling shelves, she excitedly picked cassettes. Couple cartoon pajamas. One set gray Volf. One set red Volf. Held up against me. Husband, see if it resembles us. She smiled, eyes curved into crescents. I looked at myself in mirror wearing gray Volf pajamas. Face full of helplessness. Pulled corner of mouth resembles your truly red Volf. Chasing me with pawn every day. She didn't anger. Instead leaned head on my shoulder. Laughed even happier. We held hands. Like every ordinary couple, watched a bland romance movie in theater, shared a grilled squid skewer at Snack Street. She drank my milk tea. I ate the octopus ball she bit. That sweetness real to terrifying. I enjoyed this rare warmth, but the string in heart never dared loosen. That night, we lay in bed reading. She leaned in my arms, suddenly grabbed my hand, placed on her slightly bulging belly. Feel it. She softly said, I was about to ask feel what? Palm suddenly sensed a light kick, magical like a small fish blowing bubbles. My whole body stiffened. This was fetal movement. I looked down at graceful, peaceful. She also looked up at me. Beautiful eyes. Sparkling light I'd never seen, mixed with maternal glow and expectation. That moment in my heart rose. An indescribable complex emotion for the tiny life about to arrive. I wasn't unmoved. That gentle kick, like knocking straight on my heart, making me clearly feel a life connected by blood. But this connection also like a new shackle, binding me in place. Days passed in peaceful yet bizarre atmosphere, day by day, until that day, a partner from my company visited. Their person in charge was a woman, very professional in work. We finished business in meeting room. Chatted a few more sentences in hallway. She smiled and gave me her business card. Said in future opportunities exchange more. I politely took. Turned head, saw graceful, peaceful, standing there who knows since when. She silently stood, face still usual smile, but those eyes, staring at the business card in my hand, not a bit warm, air like frozen. The woman in charge also sensed abnormality, awkwardly smiled, found excuse to leave. Graceful, peaceful, then walked over, slowly approached me. She came before me, didn't anger, didn't question, only extended slender fingers, gently pulled the business card from my hand, then right before me, with extremely elegant posture, she tore the business card into tiniest fragments. She lifted head, close to my ear, in voice only we could hear, like lovers whisper, "Husband, lately you've been too obedient," making me almost forget the darkroom is actually still very spacious. Since the business card incident, graceful, peaceful's words about the darkroom, still very spacious, like demonic sound echoed in my ears for days. I became obedient as never before. She seemed very satisfied with my compliance. Didn't mention the business card again. Days passed in that bizarre calm. So fast. Graceful, peaceful's belly swelled like a near delivery date. In a blink at the hospital. Outside delivery room. I like a headless fly pacing the hallway. The red light of the operating room lit, like a prying eye, making my heart panic. In my heart, mixed emotions. Expectation for the life about to be born. Worrying for the mad woman in delivery. But more the vagueness about my own future. Just then delivery room door burst open. A nurse stepped out. I rushed like an arrow. Throat dry. "Doctor, how's my wife?" Nurse removed mask. Revealed tired but comforting smile. "Congratulations, mother and child safe." Mother and child safe. These four words like warm water. Dispelled all worrying and unease in me. I sighed in relief. Legs like about to collapse. When receiving from nurse the tiny wrinkled baby. My heart, like stabbed hard by something. The little one so tiny, eyes tightly shut. Small mouth unconsciously moving. I gave her the affectionate name Little Moon. Looking at her, the calculations in my heart. The guard, the fear seemed to vanish in this moment. This was a feeling I'd never experienced. A primal blood-tea tremor. During graceful, peaceful's confinement, I completely became a super diaper dad. Changing diapers, mixing formula, burping, coaxing to sleep. From clumsy at first, to proficient later. Busy until feet didn't touch ground. Graceful, peaceful, most time leaned on bedhead. Silently watched me busy for daughter. In her eyes, the madness and possessiveness greatly reduced. Replaced by a gentleness and satisfaction I'd never seen. That look made me several times the illusion, as if we really were a loving ordinary couple. After Little Moon's full month, graceful, peaceful took me and the baby to her parents' home. Her parents knew about me long ago. Before, attitude toward me not bad. Now with granddaughter, they were enthusiastic to the point I couldn't handle. At in-law's home, I maximized son-in-law qualities. Actively helped mother-in-law in kitchen, sat on balcony playing chess, chatting news with father-in-law, making the old couple smile like flowers. These were survival skills I honed over the years. After dinner, father-in-law called me to study, patted my shoulder, said gravely, "Little Forrest, peaceful. She was spoiled by us since little. Personality might be a bit strange. In future, bear with her more." Mother-in-law beside echoed, "Yes, Little Forrest. If she does anything wrong, be more tolerant." I listened, showed perfect smile on face, but heart sneered, "Strange how your daughter is obsessively mad. The type to lock people in basement chain with iron." But mouth said, "Extremely sincere parents. Rest assured, peaceful's personality suits me perfectly. We two are truly a match made in heaven." After returning from in-laws, I completely became daughter's slave. Whenever free, I carried Little Moon, teased her to smile, sang off-key children's songs. Looking at her babbling, my heart melted. That night, I was carrying daughter, kissing her rosy face. Graceful, peaceful from behind hugged me, placed chin on my shoulder, voice with deliberate grievance and jealousy. "Now you only have eyes for daughter. Don't care about me at all." I laughed, turned, hugged both her and little Moon. How could that be? You mother and daughter are both my treasures. She satisfied rubbed into my chest. Lifted face. Beautiful eyes curved into crescents. She looked at me. Eyes the familiar gentleness. But words made my heart skip. Husband, seeing you love little Moon like this. I also want to give you a surprise. A surprise you'll definitely like. Since daughter's birth, my world only formula. Diapers and her babbling laughter. I carried her. Like holding the softest treasure in the world. Willingly immersed. Almost completely daughter's slave. That day, I was flustered changing little Moon's diaper. Her little feet kicking wildly on my arm. Graceful, peaceful step from behind. Mysteriously close to my ear. Husband, taking you to see a gift. Her breath with sweetness. I didn't turn head. Focused on the task. Busy right now. No time, this gift you'll definitely like. Definitely satisfying. She didn't give up. Arms around my waist began acting cute. Moreover, I like it a lot too. Come with me, okay? Come with me, okay? She rubbed back and forth behind me. Like a clingy cat. I knew with what she decided, I had no chance to refuse. Under her persistent pleading, finally I surrendered. I carried daughter, sat in passenger seat. Fastened seatbelt. Little Moon slept peacefully in my arms. Graceful, peaceful started the car. In good mood, even hummed a song. Scenery outside window whisked by. I looked at daughter's peaceful sleeping face. But heart rose a vague, indescribable premonition. Boxing gym where she brought me. Again a place full of sweat smell. And testosterone breath. Just entering leather smell. Mixed with disinfectant assaulted nose. Far away was the dull thump of punches on sandbag. And hoarse shouts of coach. Graceful, peaceful familiarly led me inside. Stopped before an independent ring. On the ring a familiar figure. Deep, beautiful. He wore shorts and boxing tank top. Red gloves. But that appearance had no fighter aura. Like a panicked rabbit. When he saw me, legs clearly trembled. That was fear etched in bones. Unhideable. Familiar face right. Graceful, peaceful took little Moon from my arms. Sleeping soundly. Smile on face radiant yet bizarre. She rocked daughter in arms. Chin toward deep, beautiful. In light voice. Almost cruel said, look. You can beat him again. Remember to hit hard. I spent a huge order. To make him your punching bag. How about it surprised? Surprised I only felt a chill. From solace to head top. I looked at her. Then at deep, beautiful shivering on ring. Heart only silent. Turns out my obedience lately made her bored. Wanted to watch me act again. Under graceful, peaceful's urging, I resignedly removed jacket. Staff handed me black boxing gloves. I leisurely put on, stepped onto ring. Deep, beautiful saw me up. Face pale as paper. Eyes full of pleading and fear. Like facing a beast about to tear him. I even lazy to pose. Just casually threw a few punches. Gloves with wind sound didn't use much strength. But deep, beautiful like scared out of wits. Raised hand symbolically blocked. Already hit on cheek by me. Whole body fell backward. Fainted instantly. Coach beside stunned. I stood on ring. Looked at graceful, peaceful below holding daughter. Enjoying this farce. Only felt ridiculous and sad. She held little Moon gently rocked. Watched the clown show on ring. While using extremely gentle voice. Said to sleeping daughter in arms. Teaching by example. Little Moon. In future you must be like your dad. Become strong, resilient person. Her voice paused. Eyes glanced at me. Lips curved into familiar sick smile. But you must not cling to dad like mom. If you dare, mom will be jealous. She bent down, almost close to daughter's ear. In dreamy voice. Said words making my blood freeze. If so, dad can only go to the dark room again. The dark room, not a forgotten nightmare, but a Damocles sword, forever hanging over my head. I removed gloves through to ground. Stepped down from ring. Forced a husband smile. Called loudly to mother and child afar. Wife, let's go home. Voice not loud, but clearly echoed in noisy gym. Go home cook. Make the braised fish you like most. And mix formula for our beloved daughter.